I've been in Zimbabwe now for a year and a half. I arrived in August 2022 as the Chargé d'affaires. And in that time, I've really had an opportunity to travel around the country on a number of different trips and see a lot of what the U.S. government and the U.S. Embassy is doing in this country, a lot of the life-saving assistance we're providing the Zimbabwe people. Our embassy has a number of other U.S. agencies at it, including the U.S. Agencies for International Development and the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. And through a lot of these trips, I've been able to see their work firsthand with the public of Zimbabwe. And I think what's been clear to me is that, the United States has been here as a consistent partner with the people of Zimbabwe since Zimbabwe's independence. We were one of the first countries to open up an embassy here in 1980. And in the last 44 years, we've provided a lot of assistance to the people of Zimbabwe, close to $5 billion worth of assistance in Zimbabwe. And I think it really shows kind of our partnership and our consistency in Zimbabwe over the last 4 decades. Some might think that assistance has been diminishing or reducing in recent years, but actually, in fact, it's increased. Over the last 3 years alone, the United States has provided $1 billion in health, humanitarian, and development assistance to the people of Zimbabwe. So I think the key message here is that, we have been a consistent and unwavering partner here to the people of Zimbabwe. But to your question specifically, since the August 2023 elections and even before that, I would say that I would characterize the relationship as strained between the government of Zimbabwe and the United States, partly due to the lack of progress on democratic reforms on behalf of the government of Zimbabwe, which I think were exemplified in the recent August 2023 elections. Despite the calm and the patience and the resilience we saw from the people of Zimbabwe during elections, we felt that the elections fell short of regional and international standards. And quite honestly, we're not alone in that feeling. Many of the electoral observer missions reported the same, including some of Zimbabwe's own neighbors in the SADC region. We've shared this sentiment with the government in advance and during and after elections, our concerns. We're also deeply disturbed by some of the events that have happened since elections, in particular, some of the violent acts against opposition members and supporters, some of which have been injured and even killed. So our message is really clear to the government of Zimbabwe. We urge them to take meaningful steps towards open, accountable, and democratic governance reforms. We think that is what is key and important going forward in our relationship.
The recalls that have happened after the August 2023 elections and the by-elections that started barely less than 2 months after the elections, what's your assessment of that? How do you characterize that? And also, what's your assessment of the opposition Triple C in Zimbabwe?
Well, our feeling is that individuals who won by large margins in the August 2023 elections, should not be removed by the voice of one person. It really undermines the will of the people, the people that came out and voted on Election Day in August 2023. As I've mentioned, we urge the government to take very clear reforms on kind of open and democratic processes. The United States does not support any political parties nor candidates in Zimbabwe. We support democratic institutions and processes.